Hi, and welcome back to The Rotting Woods. This evening, we're looking at the differences between The Blair Witch Project and Blair Witch, the direct sequel. The sequel was bad. We all know it was bad, but exactly why? We're here to find out. First off, the original project is widely considered as the reason the found footage subgenre is so popular. A timeless classic can be hard to follow up. The original film was independent, messy, and unplanned, written and directed by two men who met in film school and acted by only 3 people. The plot itself is fairly simple, and the characters seem well fleshed out, meaning we actually cared what happens to them. Importantly, this doesn't give it a slice of life or rom-com type of feel. Knowing and liking the characters actually makes it scarier and more ominous that we never get to see the Blair Witch's physical form or know what happens to them all at the end. It's a simple concept. The unknown horror is arguably the most terrifying. There's also a lot to think about in terms of the physical creation of the film. The 2 writer-directors gave their fresh-out-of-school actors GPS coordinates to follow whilst filming themselves over a period of 8 days. On top of that, the lines were mostly improvised by the actors based on private DMs they received from the writer-directors. And if that wasn't enough, the creators reportedly agitated their actors with tent shaking and cutting back on food supply. The actors were genuinely terrified. Merrick and Sanchez were either crazy or genius, or a mix of the both. But either way, they made one hell of a good film and a hell of a load of money. So then, how could they have possibly messed up the sequel? Whilst the original excited fans through an extensive advertising campaign, the new one had an advertising campaign that mostly consisted of, look, it's that thing that we did, yeah, we did it again, which isn't that effective to horror film fans, since things we haven't seen or experienced before tend to be the most scary.
That sounds like a societal commentary.
Shoo, feminists, we're doing sexism next week. This film's plot centers around the brother of the original film's main character, who after seeing 2 pixel footage online posted by Darknet666, believes his sister, who's been lost in the woods for 20 years at this point, is still alive. Somehow. So, he gathers some student filmmakers who probably just couldn't be bothered to deal with a life of student dad, and merrily marches straight into the death-ridden, spooky woods to go find his big sister. There's more cameras, more characters, and more chaos, but not in a good way. The amount of cameras creates so many angles and jump cuts that it doesn't feel like found footage at all. This new film just begins to feel like a conventional drama. Most of the scary parts of the film are just jump scares, relying on the massive sound system of the cinema to freak out their audience. It's all just jump scares, scares that turn out to be fake, scares that aren't even scary at all, bad scares, fake scares. Hey, I'm not the boring one here. The film is. I've been very negative. The Blair Witch remake, no, sequel, wasn't actually too bad. I just feel it didn't do enough justice to the original film. It's a good, solid 21st century remake of a great film, so it can never live up to that standard. The sequel, in true Rotting Woods fashion, gets a 5 out of 10. Definitely solid-ish. Thanks for joining me this week in the woods. If you massively disagree with me, or would like to share your enthusiastic hatred towards the Blair Witch sequel, comment down below, or go onto our Instagram page and DM us, or even comment on one of our posts there. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But until then, I'll see you next time in The Rotting Woods.